Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you. Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at BrickCon in Bellevue, Washington, and we've got this Viking raiding party build. I've got both the builders with me, so if you guys want to introduce yourselves, then we'll take a look at the build.
I'm Eric Hinson.
And I'm Jason Brown.
Okay, and give us an overview of what this is here.
So we've got up on the island, we've got kind of the Great Hall, and then we've got three towers, the little blacksmith. That was fun to build. The Great Hall, the blacksmith up on the hill, and the two towers, that was actually made from the pieces of two Viking villages. Okay. And then the other tower that's up on the hill, along with the blacksmith in the village and the little outhouse, was made from another Viking village. So that's just those pieces were three Viking villages that we tore apart and rebuilt kind of as like an alt-build type of idea.
Yeah, I love that, taking that set, which was so cool to see kind of a Vikings return and really kind of running with it. So as you guys kind of playing this out, how did you figure out sort of the layout and what you wanted in the build?
Yeah, so we originally we did some drawing, a couple sketches just to kind of get the terrain correct, right? And then, we took inspiration from, Viking movies and lore and stuff we've read and looked at and played with. So, I don't know, definitely wanted to do some classic Viking techniques, battle techniques with shield walls and stuff like that. And so, just kind of evolved as we went. Terrain layout, we decided to add a cave halfway through to add something interesting, right, to grab the eye. Same down here with the little dragon hiding in his little gold cave, right? Just little details as you go that you don't really think about until you're there, right? So, it was really fun. It's super fun to build.
Yeah. So take us through some of the water and that terrain then.
Yeah, we wanted to get various depths of water kind of idea where you had your shallows, you had your shore, you had your depths. So we started with two different colors of underlayment brick with a light blue and a dark blue. And then we used clear for surf on the beach. And then we had light blue brick that bled over from the light blue under to the dark blue under. And then we put dark blue farther out. And we wanted to get very much a crashing waves and multiple depths feel. So especially once you get amongst the rocks, we put a lot more clear. So you had the crashing waves against those rocks and starts to get turmoil in there. We added a lot more studs so it wasn't as smooth and really reflected the light differently than it did in the rest of the build.
And I think that turned out very nicely. So do you know how many minifigs are on this whole layout?
145. We counted this afternoon.
Wow. And do you guys have a total piece count at all?
Not even close. We know that the water is about 1,600 pieces just for the top layer of trans brick.
Yeah, the transparent tile there, about 1,500 little 1x2 tiles on the water there. So, yeah.
And then take us through this tree section back here.
Yeah. So this tree was kind of a last-minute addition. And just looking at the build without it, I just kept feeling there needed to be a better backdrop. And so, we designed the tree. I put it together, and it just really filled the space nicely. So it's supposed to represent
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, which is the ancient Viking tree from the lore of Vikings and their mythology, right? So that's kind of what it represents. That's why it's glowing with some green essence or sap right there. But that's kind of what we did for that. So,
what was the design for these palisade walls? What are those pieces there?
Yeah, so those are Technic pins or Technic pieces with pins running through them to create that palisade wall there. And I actually saw the design on one of the Bricklink Designer Program series. The designer had used them as like a siege camp kind of blocker or something like that, right? So I just thought it would be a very cool addition to stack them and kind of use different heights to create that effect of the palisade wall with the cut wood in tan along the top there like that with those spikes. So it turned out pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. I love the bridge connecting the two rock sections as well. So talk about kind of the design approach and how that came together for you guys.
So we knew that we wanted the back to be much taller because we decided to change up our approach from a landscape view to more of a portrait view. So because of that, you had to create a difference in height to really give a good look at it. So we decided what we wanted the back to be was basically a burp plus like 6 bricks, and the front we basically wanted to be a burp. So that's where we started. And then we found out that the bridge was going to be super steep. So we ended up building up just a little bit more on that back section in order to make sure that the bridge wasn't too steep. But other than that, that's basically what decided what our height system was.
Yeah. And there's tons of lighting throughout this as well. So how did you guys tackle that?
This is our first time with lighting. So we built it with the idea that we knew we wanted to do lighting. But the lighting was then put in kind of after everything. Luckily, most of the build is more or less hollow. So we're able to pull up certain placed tiles or plates in the build so we can actually put all the different connector plates and run all the wires through it. And the kit that we have worked really well for this.
And what are some of your favorite like minifigs or little kind of minifig scenes throughout the build as you've got so much action going on here?
Yeah, definitely. So like I said before, we wanted to do some shield walls and stuff like that. So out in front here, they're getting peppered by arrows. You got them defending the people running up along the beach. So adding some dynamic combat. Yeah, it's a little chaotic, but battle is chaotic. So one of my favorite things is the burning gatehouse. How I designed it to look like the flame is progressing up and through the build, and it's already kind of chewed away a little bit during that fire sequence going on there. So that I really like that. I'm a big fan of the blacksmith design. It's got a little bit of a fantasy feel to it with the sloped like low roofs and things like that. Kind of had an orc forge of sorts kind of in my head when I was thinking about designing that. Let's see. My favorite minifig, I'm going to point him out, is this guy right here. He's the CMF Viking with a shield from the Hobbit sets. I think that's Lake Town. One of the Lake Town sets had those little fish shields. So he just turned out to be, he was one of the first Viking guys we built to put in this build, and he's kind of stood there during the rest of the build as things kind of built around him. So he's kind of our iconic Viking guy. But there's a lot of really unique little guys in here. They got the Redbeard guy out here who's attacking. Here's the captain right here. He's got a very fierce-looking beard and face there too. So he's one of the favorites, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How was set up for this layout when you guys got here to BrickCon?
So we transported the main part of it on a board we cut to size so that we could transport it without any flex, because when we started building it, it was on a very flimsy table, and when we started building up high, the plates weren't sticking together. So we quickly went to this board. It helped a lot. The tree had to be transported separately because it's pretty loose in there. It's on a single keeper peg. And then one of our towers had completely fallen over in transport. So we had to rebuild the tower and the mast of the boat. And then we did all of the minifig placement yesterday. So we built all the minifigs and then placed them all.
Yeah, we were sitting on the floor for like 6 hours just building Lego Vikings. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we weren't 100% sure how it would all fit together, though we did kind of have a battle plan, right? Because you kind of have to when you've got this many figures involved. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We built a bunch of Vikings yesterday and got to populate it, and you have them marching out of the Great Hall. And there's a little bit of lore, right? So the blacksmiths are defending their forge with hammers. You can see about 5 of them with the big hammers there. You got the wife of the fish Viking that we pointed out earlier. She's leading them out of the Great Hall. She's got another one of those shields, right? So there's some consistency there. You got like a watcher. We kind of thought the guy standing on the cliff with the cape and the cloak could be like
Your druid.
Yeah, kind of like a druid style, like not prophet, but guy that would like record the written histories of what was happening in this great battle, so we kind of wanted to bring story elements into it and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all of your work to both of you. So it's a great layout, and I love the Vikings as a theme has always been one of my favorites. So keep up the great work.